Any other questions or anything you guys are dealing with, like questions or challenges while you're using the platform on the day to day?
One area of adding new contacts, once we add them, if you're going to get to this later, that's fine. I can wait. But when adding a contact, then schedule them for a follow-up phone call of Tuesday of 2 weeks from now. You're just getting all those ducks perfectly in a row.
Okay, got it. So are you having issues importing the contacts, or is that going smoothly for you?
No, I have not imported the list yet. I've simply been adding them
Okay.
one by one. And I was playing with it a few days ago.
Okay. Do you have a central, like another hub where all these contacts sit right now that you're trying to manually migrate them from?
The bulk of my contacts are half of them are in constant contact, and then spreadsheets on my laptop.
If you have a spreadsheet in a CSV file, that's perfect. You can just go ahead and click on the import contacts button and then drag and drop. And I'll
Okay,
go through that step. And then if you have a constant contact, you should be able to download a CSV file directly
that's
from
correct.
there and then
That's
import that.
correct.
So,
Right, right.
okay. I have this list here. So I upload a list of BNI mortgage brokers. I'm going to hit next. And then on the next page, it's going to ask me to map my fields. So on the CSV file, I have a column for first name, last name, phone number, email, company name, address, all that stuff. And then so it's pretty straightforward. You pick one of your contact fields from here. In this case, I had it perfectly mapped where there weren't any confusing issues with like recognizing it. But sometimes, you'll have your contact where the first and last name are in the same field, like full name instead of first name and last name. So in that case, what I've done is change it to name instead, and then it'll automatically separate it. There may be some issues, especially if someone has like a middle name in there, or if they have a last name with two words. So you might have to go through and kind of just scan through that. But I think it does a pretty good job of recognizing. So yeah, I'm going to hit next here, and then you can just create an import name. So I'm going to do BNI mortgage brokers. And then I can also create a smart list, and then I can add tags to it saying, these people are all BNI. So I can tag people as many different ways as I want. And then if I have a workflow saying, this is an email that I'm doing to all BNI mortgage brokers, I can add them to that workflow. So I have one. So I have an outreach, I have an email drip campaign that I send out to mortgage brokers and BNI. So I can go ahead and specifically add them to that. So, and then I hit confirm, saying that they have all consented or opted into communication from us. So I'm not going to hit submit because I already have all these people added in here, but that's kind of what that flow looks like.
So tags are stupid important then when you're setting these contacts up, sounds like.
Yeah. What I've done is I'll tag people as different networking organizations I'm a part of with them, what their profession is, where they're located. So if I wanted to do a email blast for everyone in NYC, I could do it that way. And you have like different layers of contact tags that you have. And then I can show you kind of what an automation looks like. So I have a drip sequence that I'm doing with BNI members that are HVAC technicians. So my trigger here is if they get tagged with BNI HVAC, they get put into this automation. It'll wait until the next business day at 8 a.m. and then send out this email. So it's just asking to connect and do a one-to-one. And this is what the body of the email looks like. So I've done a little intro here. I have my button here to book a one-to-one. I have my signature, all that. So they get that email. I can see exactly how many people are opening it and how many people are clicking it or responding. And then it will wait for 4 days. If they've replied, then it'll take them out of the workflow. But if they did not reply within 4 days, it'll send them a second email saying, hey, just following up on this. Would you be interested? Would love to connect. I do a lot of work with people in the trades and, have a one-to-one. So that way I'm hitting them twice. If they replied or have already booked it, they won't get the second email. But if they did not respond, then they get the second one. Because a lot of times, you see an email asking for an introduction, you're busy and something happens, staying through with it. And that second email dramatically increases your likelihood of getting a response or some kind of appointment. This is, I wouldn't even say it's really an advanced workflow. It's just you're adding an if-then statement, like a logic tree that if they have responded, then we're going to remove them and they're not going to get the second one. And if they did not respond, then we're going to send the second email just to like as a reminder. And this is like the most basic form of a if-then statement. There's some way more complicated ones that I can show you. You can get really granular saying, let me actually pull one up. I'll just show it briefly. So as you can see here, this one, there's one branch here saying that, okay, did they reply? Yes. And if they did reply, what was the intent? Did they say yes? And we can filter through saying, okay, the intent here was positive, then we'll put them in this branch saying, cool, here's the information again. And then if they say no, then you know what, we can say, all right, thanks for letting us know. We appreciate that. And then update the opportunity into a certain stage saying, you know what, they're not interested right now. Let's just put them in a nurture sequence. That's a little bit more of a complicated workflow with different branches.